Shining Stars, welcome to my channel Shining Star Soup. Today's video is going to be a little bit more of a serious video, and I'm hoping that as I tell my story about how I lost 50 pounds in 6 months, I'm going to go through everything. If anybody is going to take anything away from my video, everybody's different. The one thing that kind of kept me going was it's a slow process. If you want, and different programs are going to work for different people. You have your fad diets, you know, like Ozempic or weight loss pills, and I tried that. I tried the Ozempic, and you just got to remember that it's a slow process. If you want to do it right and you want to stick to it, it's not going to happen overnight, and you need to put yourself in the mind frame that I did not get this heavy overnight. So I'm not going to lose the weight that I want overnight. That was what I personally had to keep reminding myself. Another thing is, you know, I found something that worked for me, so obviously I'm going to do some recommendations, and maybe it'll work for you. So this time last year, 2024, around November, I tipped the scales at 248 pounds, and pretty much I was in the lifestyle that, you know, my husband and I both, we had a lot of, you know, didn't really exercise, didn't really, we were constantly going out, we were having like pizza, pastas, sweets, you know, we'd go to Costco and we'd have like huge bags of, chocolate snappers, chocolate s'mores. We would have those big tuxedo sheet cakes, just me and him, over 2 days. Sometimes even one, like we just didn't care. And you know, the weight, when you get into that mind frame, honestly, that, you know, you don't really care anymore, you just get that weight. And I've done crash diets. I've done one where, you know, 4-hour body, where I would just eat beans in the morning and then like steak at night, and then that's all I would eat, and I was constantly starving myself for 5 out of 7 days. The 6th day, which was Saturday, I'd go all out, eating everything I was missing, load up on carbs, and then Sunday I would fast. And I did that for a month, and I lost weight. I lost 20 pounds, but I tell you, it was not sustainable, not at all. So this year, 2025, has been a really hard year for me. And I'm going to show pictures, examples, because I documented 6 months straight of pictures. I was dealing with very high blood pressure. I had a really bad vertigo episode where I ended up in the hospital. I ended up in the hospital like 3 times, just feeling like really kind of out of it, not myself, just knowing that something was off. And they were doing my blood pressure, and like my blood pressure was getting in the 140s, which was extremely high. So I did go to my doctor, and at the hospital they did give me a medication, blood pressure medication. I don't remember the name of it. It was Amo something. If I find it, it'll be there. And then that one really wasn't working out for me. It was not properly regulating my blood pressure. And then I switched to Cadasartan. Now, the funny thing about Cadasartan is that eventually, when I started losing weight, my body started kind of, I guess, rejecting it, and I got a really bad case of vasculitis, where for like, it was my birthday this year, just for like a week straight, I could not stop itching. I could, you know, I had hives all over my legs and all over my arms, and it was bad, and I just couldn't stand it. I couldn't stop itching. I couldn't sleep through the night. I stopped the Cadasartan on my own, and after my husband pointed out that, hey, one of the side effects of Cadasartan, this blood pressure medication, was vasculitis, and it happened to like one person. So I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait for my doctor to say, yeah, it's fine, get off of it. I had to. That's how bad the itching was. It was crazy, and nothing I tried worked. The only thing that worked was really, really, really hot water. and that only kind of numbed the pain for maybe about 15 minutes. But I used to do that before bed just so I could sleep, sort of, for a couple hours. But yeah, I stopped CAS-Sartan, and it got better. All right, so I kind of jumped ahead. Let's show a picture. 3 pictures. So this right in the corner, I'll insert it here, was me at my heaviest. 248 pounds. I did my right, my front, and my left. Okay, so what you're going to see now is, and I don't know how long it's going to be, my pictures from, I stopped taking my pictures from, I think about a couple months ago, because what I would do would be every Saturday I would, weigh myself and see what I was at, and lost a lot of weight at first, and then towards the end, like right now, my ultimate goal right now is to get down to 170 pounds. Spoiler, I'm at 198, and yeah, so it's been a lot of weight, 248 to 198. It takes a lot, it's not easy. But anyway, here are the pictures from there, and I'm just going to go through these. Now, as you're seeing these pictures, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I did and what worked for me. All right. So again, it's a process, and I wanted to tell myself that, well, what really started back in April was the fact that I had gotten diagnosed with liver fibrosis. Now, I had always had fatty liver. My liver enzymes were always high. My body itself, I have what's called ovarian dysfunction. So my body doesn't produce hormones. I never got my period. I've never was able to have kids. I've been in premenopause since I was 15. And so when I was taking hormones, which I tried for a little while, my liver enzymes just skyrocketed too much. So because of that, I ended up not taking the hormones. And I was watching a couple YouTubers. I can't recall them right now. I'll try to do the research, put their links down below. They've been, I followed them, and they actually really helped. I decided to do apple cider vinegar and lemon juice, organic lemon juice, every morning. And I actually did that for about 3 months, and I had my doctor test my liver enzymes, and my liver enzymes drastically reduced. So if you have a problem with fatty liver or liver enzymes, whatever, I do recommend every morning religiously, I have it, like a quarter cup of organic lemon juice and apple cider vinegar, and it was proven it helped. So I downloaded an app called Carb Manager, just to kind of keep track of my carbs. Now, obviously, you're on your own honor system with this. And, most of the input is from other users. I mean, but it helps, kind of helps track if you're into that kind of thing. For my exercise. Now, it is true, I hated to exercise, but I found a way. I bought a MetaQuest 3, and I downloaded an app called Supernatural. And I started doing that consistently for well, at first it was like a couple times a week, then it was 3 times a week, and then I usually do it 5 to 7 days a week, unless, my ankle starts to give out on me, and then I would, only do 3. Like this last week, I only did 2, just because I get sore right ankles. All right, so hopefully by now those pictures have ended. Obviously, as I'm filming this, I can't see. So yeah, Supernatural and Carb Manager really helped. I went on the keto diet, where I eliminated the wheat and breads, pastas. I switched to a low carb diet. I was really strict with myself at first, just so I could get my body into that state of ketosis. And I remember I did the urine strips, and I was in high ketosis for probably about 3 months straight, just to get my body used to the low carb. And I kind of eased up. However, I didn't ease up to the point that I started eating the pastas and the really sugary desserts. Instead, I found a couple of low carb, zero to low sugar um, uh, products and meals that I swear by. For instance, I get cravings for for chocolate. Now the thing is, the hardest thing I had a problem with was cravings, and I was watching. It might have been Dr. Eric Berg or another YouTuber who mentioned that eventually you will lose those cravings. And I didn't believe them because I was that person that craved sweets constantly. If I didn't have something sweet, I would get the shakes. I would literally start shaking and feel really sick and feel really faint. It took a good 3 days. Actually, it only took about 3 or 4 days of being really strict with myself that it went away. Like I can go into a bakery right now and see like this beautiful chocolate cake, this beautiful carrot cake, and I don't crave it. I can walk right past those Costco tuxedo mask cakes and I'm fine. I can go to Christmas dinner with the family and uh, be a little bit lenient once in a blue moon. Like we're talking like once every 3 months. Like I haven't sat down and had, a bowl of pasta. I had sushi a couple weeks ago and then like nothing. But I really recommend Lindt Excellent 90% cacao. Now the reason why I chose this chocolate, for instance, is because for 3 squares, and you will start reading the nutrition facts if you're using Carb Manager. It's 9 grams of carbs, 5 grams of fiber, and 2 grams of sugar. However, you got to really look at the ingredients as well. For this one, it's cocoa mass, cocoa butter, cocoa powder, and sugar is the last ingredient. So I can have 2 squares a day, and I don't feel guilty, even though calories are high. It's 200 calories, but I don't have that every day. So yeah, I mean, the daily exercise and the keto lifestyle has worked for me. And don't be scared to have sweets. Like you get used to it, and the thing is, you can do it. You do have to have willpower, and you do have to have discipline because temptation is everywhere, and it's so easy just to fall back into bad habits. But the thing I gotta say is, I feel so much better. I don't have those moments where I'm like, what the heck am I doing? My legs don't swell anymore. They hurt. My right ankle hurts when I stand on it too much, but I haven't been to the hospital in 6 months since I started the diet. Clothes are starting to fit better. Going from, it's really good feeling, going from a 2XL to an XL. But having more confidence is the big thing. I will always have a double chin, right? But like you can tell and you can gain your confidence. So what I recommend is to, again, not give up on yourself. Tell yourself that you didn't gain 50 pounds overnight. You're not going to lose it 50 pounds overnight. You will struggle. You will hit plateaus. And it's hard. It's not easy. And you do need to exercise. There's no miracle diet. You have to put in the work. And I don't do high, like I sweat with Supernatural, but you need to find something that you enjoy. I do 10 to 30 minutes, like 3 to 5 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week of the Supernatural, where I'm moving around, I'm sweating, and it feels like you gotta do it for yourself. Another thing I told myself was, do I really want to be crippled or, just hating life at 60 because I didn't put in the work in my 40s. Yeah, you really got to be confident. But it has to come from here. You got to do it. And like I said, exercise is the best way to do it. I take my dog Pepper for a walk, and choosing food alternatives. Find alternatives that work for you. Instead of pasta, do zucchini, not zucchini noodles, new pasta. Like it's a bean pasta that's really healthy. Instead of doing, you know, Mars bars or Reese peanut butter cups, make your own. Instead of milk chocolate, do dark chocolate. Instead of rice, do cabbage. Find what you like. Fine tune it to have a healthier alternative, because if you totally deny yourself instead of finding alternatives, you're going to resent yourself. You're going to resent the diet. You're eventually going to reach that point where you're like, ah, screw this. Like, why? Right? And yeah, if you have any questions, I will put my recommendations. If you have any questions or comments or whatever, you know, you saw my pictures, and just, you know, put it down below in a comment box. I do appreciate you watching. If you watched this whole thing, great. I had a whole kind of system in mind as to what order I was going to do it, and then I got in front of it, I was like, you know, my mom's downstairs and is probably going to wake up any moment, so I wanted to talk freely, you know, when I had time. So yeah, Carb Manager, recommend. Supernatural, the VR game, really recommend. Finding alternatives, I recommend. Standing instead of walking, recommend. Any, you know, physical activity that you can do, I recommend. I recommend these things. And number one, remember, it takes time. Trust in yourself. You will hit plateaus. And if you do the keto lifestyle like I have, I'm going to do my research about my two favorite YouTubers right here that I took the most advice from. I really recommend them. Just find something that works for you and make sure it's sustainable for you. You know, like, you don't want to put in all this effort and do all this work, and you want to get to the point where, or at least I want to get to the point where, again, I could walk through Costco, go through the bakery, you know, have coworkers eating pizza and not take a bite. That actually happened to me last week. They brought in a pizza party and I was like, no, I can't. And just having the confidence. I still have a long way to go. I still have at least 30 pounds I want to lose. But, you know, I want to do that liver elastography test. I probably butchered that. And instead of liver fibrosis, I'm hoping that, well, I'm hoping for normal liver, but chances are that's never going to happen, at least a fatty liver. So, fingers crossed. Alright guys, I hope you liked this video. This kind of took a lot of courage for me to put up here, but here I am. Alright, all you shining stars, have a shining star day, and keep being shining stars, even if I'm not around, all the time to remind you.